Long story short, I have to redo the intro, so that's why I look different from how I'm going to look later. I know I'm late with My Adventures with Superman Season 2. That's also a long story. I know that episode 4 of Season 2 is already released by now, but unfortunately this video will only cover the first 3 episodes of Season 2, but I'll get to episode 4 eventually. To briefly recap, I really liked the first season of My Adventures with Superman, apart from the whole "why didn't you tell me you were Superman" thing, and some of the fight scenes, but it was mostly good. I like the show's sense of humor. I like how this version of Lois is more fun than most versions of Lois, and she does things that Superman wouldn't do in a way that's helpful to Superman. I think that's a really interesting dynamic. Remember that I said the recap would be brief, so now let's get into Season 2, Episode 1 of My Adventures with Superman.
Pa?
Oh, let me guess, another dream? You're getting predictable now. Okay, to be fair, the point isn't for us to be tricked into thinking that this is real. The point is to show that he's still struggling with stuff, so I'll forgive the predictability.
And you'll never be human.
No, but he's kinda better than human. Didn't you get your own desk in the last season? You don't have to be here anymore, do you? That was supposed to be the room they used as their office because they didn't have an official desk anywhere. But they got their official desks and stuff. Maybe she wanted 2 offices. Aww.
As I'm now one of the bosses at the Daily Planet, head of the Flamebird video division, I have to set an example.
I was thinking about doing a video called How My Adventures with Superman Modernizes Correctly. One of the ways I think it does that is by having Jimmy put up with so many naysayers, only for him to become absurdly rich, and Lois was struggling with people being more successful than her at a younger age, which is something people think about a lot in these modern times, especially since you have teenagers getting rich making their try not to dance videos. There's a lot of examples out there of made for a modern audience being an omen of death. But My Adventures with Superman is a lot better in that regard. Back in the 2010s, people thought that modernizing meant making everything dark and joyless, which did not work for Superman.
Hey, man, it'll be okay.
Don't give him a pep talk, that's Lex Luthor. You just killed thousands of people. I know he's not bald, but they told us who he is in the trailer.
Gotta go. Forgot about that other story we're covering. The one about Superman?
Right!
Well done, Clark. Wink, wink. You are very subtle. Wink, wink.
I saw the man I think is my father.
The alien hologram? Clark, are you sure this is a good idea?
You can't trust filthy aliens. Oh, no offense, Clark. You're one of the good ones. I don't think Clark needs a jacket unless there's someone around to see him without a jacket. He can survive in space in most incarnations. Well, really, Superman's clothing has never made that much sense if you really think about it. Superman gets his powers from Earth's yellow sun. He gets his powers from light from the sun touching his skin. So why then does he wear a costume that covers everything except for his head and his hands? He should at least be shirtless to increase sunlight absorption.
You can speak English now?
The translation program needed time to learn your language.
It took 20 plus years for a computer to learn. Okay.
The ship you saw was a dead remnant, an unmanned ghost ship running on autopilot.
But there was a Kryptonian with them.
You and Kara were both sent away in the last moments before Krypton fell.
This version of Kara had better not be anything like the CW version of Supergirl, because that one was no good. It should have been that version of Supergirl to be deleted. It's not like I'm bitter about that, though.
And then you lost her.
Dad!
But if I had done this to your mother, I would have to perform some sort of very grand romantic gesture to make up for it.
You too!
Stay away from my friends.
Don't tell them they're your friends. Kryptonite is so overpowered in this show. I don't like Kryptonite because 9 times out of 10, it reduces a fight scene down to just someone holding the rock in front of him like this for a few minutes, and usually has to use plot convenience to get out of it.
This is goodbye. You are more than I could have ever hoped for.
I hope Jor-El knows about the various heroics Superman has been doing for Earth, because the stuff he saw Superman do firsthand was bury him, smash some kryptonite into his circuits, bring Lois into this dangerous place and lose her there. If he doesn't have access to outside information, it doesn't make sense for him to be so proud of Superman.
Please help me save my dad.
Your dad? The general?
No, I think I'd prefer that he die.
I know it's a lot to ask.
I'd do anything for you, Lois.
Except save your father.
You had something too?
It can wait.
That's kind of different than keeping secrets from her, I guess. So they're improving from last season, yeah. However, it was kind of mean of Lois to ask him to rescue her dad after everything he's done. Maybe she'll do something grand to make it up to him. Because you can't just ask Superman to rescue General Lane and then not apologize or something afterwards. If I was Clark, I would say, honey, I love you, but you're an orphan now. Just accept it. All right, next episode.
You are the master of your destiny. You control the outcome of this day. The universe gives what you bring to it. Today, you bring fire.
I might hate her, but I kind of wish I could wake up in the morning and say that to myself. Oh, and of course I'm not saying that I hate her because she's a black woman. I hate her for an abundance of reasons, including but not limited to her being against Superman. Also, I made the horrible mistake of playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, so the sight of her sparks all-consuming rage.
I know you're friends with him. Can you give him a message for me?
We don't know Superman. We know nothing about Superman, but hypothetically, if we did know something about Superman, and perhaps hypothetically, if we were to come across him one time, hypothetically, what would you hypothetically want us to tell him, hypothetically?
What do you need me to tell Superman?
Or you could just say, yes, we know, I'm sure.
Okay, here's the plan to sneak in. I'm a wealthy, gorgeous widow. You are my beautiful bodyguard who has fallen for me but can't reveal your true feelings. I'm here to make a large donation to the library. What's your...
Oh, come on, that would have been so much fun. She's gonna have to remember that backstory for next time.
This wall has fresh paint.
They must have just painted it for it to be that wet.
I can't see through the walls. They're reinforced with something that's blocking my x-ray vision.
Did they happen to know that he can't see through lead? I don't think even he knows that yet.
Then we go back to my plan. Hello, colleagues!
You're supposed to say that you're a beautiful widow. I thought you said you were doing your plan.
I found out my cousin also escaped Krypton.
You want to call in more Kryptonians?
You want to call in more alien scum? More Xeno scum? Well, no offense, Clark, but Xeno scum?
I know a failure when I see one, too.
She should know she sees a failure in the mirror every single day.
Task Force X is still mine.
That is not something to be proud of. Task Force X is another name for the Suicide Squad. If I owned them, I wouldn't blame anyone for executing me.
Is this the way you speak to your daughter?
How do you know I talk to my daughter like this?
I'm here to rescue you!
No, don't save him. He deserves death. What are you doing?
A team field trip to somewhere like, I don't know, let's say, Strikers Prison?
Can we bring the cat?
Can you use the cat as a projectile? If you can, then yes, bring the cat.
I've got this under control.
With all due respect, the fact that you were locked in your own cell means no, you don't.
What are you talking about? He has no due respect.
He kidnapped me. He literally started it. Plus, we still need to locate the beacon.
I don't know if we should. And we don't know anything about your cousin, and
My father said,
just find Billy's dad and get him and my dad out.
I'm 1,000% on Superman's side in this argument. But be fair, we as the audience know a lot of stuff that Lois doesn't, including the fact that Jor-El and Kara aren't evil, which is something that we know even without watching this particular show.
what is Task Force X doing to these people?
I don't know.
I thought Task Force X was yours.
All of them are nonviolent offenders, mostly people who can't pay bail.
They're turning people into living weapons.
How could they do such things? They should have been doing this stuff to the violent offenders. They probably would have had fewer visitors to wonder where they've gone off to. You missed. You were supposed to hit Amanda. You could have given those guns to your civilian friends there.
At least now I know what to do. Go off the grid.
Come and stay with me.
Don't do that, Lois. I don't want to see him every episode.
You can stay with Clark and Jimmy. That way you're not risking me, but still close by.
That's even worse. Lois isn't girlfriend material anymore. What? No. If only Jimmy hadn't given him that pep talk. Amanda would be dead right now. That would have been so wonderful.
How do you take your coffee?
I like my coffee hot enough to burn the hairs off of my head. Alright, next episode.
Hold on, you're gonna be alright.
That would have been hilarious if he says, "You're gonna be alright," and then the explosion blows him up. Since that's new. Well, new as far as I know. It's good that they introduce a new power in this more inconsequential part of the episode, so it's not Deus Ex Machina later on.
Mr. Lane.
General.
General Lane. He got fired and imprisoned. He's not a general no more.
You're oblivious, and one day your screw-up act is going to hurt my daughter.
I would not let that guy criticize me. I would have told him, you just escaped a prison that was designed for human experimentation on non-violent offenders, and none of that would have existed if you weren't such a screw-up, so your approval or disapproval means nothing.
You and I have business to discuss.
Livewire?
Oh, come on! This was supposed to be an easy one!
Let's go!
He should have picked her up and flew her out of there. I get that he's inexperienced at this point, but come on, man. See, this guy knows how to hit things. Take note, Superman.
How'd you like the #2 reporting spot at the Gazette?
The Gazette? Bad things happen when Lois Lane works at a place called the Gazette.
But that would mean leaving Metropolis.
Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, well, Yo Mama won't last forever.
Your dad's right. I'm oblivious to what's going on, and today that almost got everyone killed.
Number 1, never say that my dad is right again. 2, in the end, Superman still saved the day.
Alright, Lois is girlfriend material again.
So make sure to leave it on your way out. Wouldn't want to have to arrest one of Metropolis's heroes for stealing.
Now get him out of here before he steals my hair, too. For the most part, I liked these first 3 episodes. The show is still fun, and the sense of humor is still intact. My main complaint is Superman needs to get better at fighting. I hated that part with Livewire. In the previous episode, we saw him tap on 2 guys to knock him out instantly in a matter of a few seconds. And then he just let Livewire do whatever she wants because reasons. And the part with the robots, and the part with Atomic Skull. Superman is just barely fighting back at all, and I don't like it. Superman and Lois's relationship has complications without them doing that horrible mistake from last season. It's just a little bit hard to sympathize with Lois's side of things. Her dad is so intolerable, and I don't think she justifies the decision to not let him go off on his own. He was going to go off the grid and not bother anyone, then she volunteered Clark's house, which was not very nice of her. And also, she's racist against Xenos scum, against Kryptonians. You can kind of understand her position, but in order to do that, you have to forget a lot of stuff that you know for a fact. She's afraid that the Kryptonians are all no good. We know that they're not, but she doesn't know that. For all she knows, Jor-El could have been lying when he said that they weren't invading. Going forward, I'm not sure if I'm going to do individual videos for each subsequent episode, or if I'll batch them together. I'll decide that later. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and to not be prejudiced against Xenos scum. Kryptonians.